Hello, Cosmic Witches, and welcome back to the Divine Gossip Girls podcast. I am so happy. We are so happy that you have tuned into this episode and our May forecast. This episode, I will be sharing with you the energetic theme. So I'll be channeling as per usual, the energetic themes that we are going to be experiencing collectively. And then Maggie will go ahead and take you through the astrological transits that will be occurring in May. And finally, Sophie will go ahead and wrap it all together with some different practices and affirmations that you can take to kind of work with this energy that is presented this month. So as always, open up your heart, open up your mind, your crown chakra. Maggie currently has selenite on her head to open up her crown. Maybe you need to shift into this receiving mode as well. Hint, hint at one of the energetic themes. But just receive what feels connected to your intuition. And if you have a journal, or you can take out your notes app in your phone, write down the things that come are called out to you that really feel like they're resonating with you. And as always, you can come back throughout the month and re-listen to some of these themes to see how they're playing out in your day-to-day life and this experience that you have. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into the episode.
Hey Cosmic Witches, Divine Gossip Girls here, your one and only source into the spiritual happenings of the cosmos.
Ever wonder what this month's energy will have in store for you? What the planets and stars are even up to? Or if the universe can just help you catch a break already?
Well, lucky you, because we have all the spiritual secrets to tell. Get ready to sip on your weekly dose of divine tea. All right, love. So I'm going to be tapping into the energetic themes now. I know I mentioned in the intro, but if you haven't yet, take out your notes app or your journal and write down which themes call out to you. Now, I did channel before a entire energetic forecast for May, but I was doing it in a little cafe and I felt so in my head. And after I created those themes, I just kind of didn't feel in alignment with them. I felt like they were more governed by the ego versus that true me tapping into the collective energy. So I just right now wrote down some random themes that I channeled directly. I saw the tarot cards in my head and that's what I ended up writing down. But I'm also going to allow for in this episode, my intuition to guide me a little bit more. So if I'm kind of bouncing around, bear with me here, but we are going to pull out some themes. So 3 overarching themes came through this month. So in May, we are welcoming theme 1, which is this idea that our ego may be a little bit louder right now. With this, I pulled the 2 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. Now, the suit of Swords is associated with the air element, and air is intangible, it's unseen, but it's also in constant movement. So this element of air can be still and is mostly unnoticed. So what I'm getting with the energy of both the 2 of Swords and the 9 of Swords is that there are certain things that are going on subconsciously and they may be impacting your energy without an awareness of what is really going on, right? You may notice that you are going down a path, or you've recently chosen a new start to something, or you've recently started to commit to a long-term relationship or not a long-term relationship, but commit to a relationship or a project or something that feels a bit new. And subconsciously, there are some beliefs that are not in alignment with that quite yet. And they're being kicked up for you to address, not because the thing that you are doing is out of alignment, but because those lower vibrational beliefs that do not align with that higher timeline are being kicked up for you to notice, address, and rewire. So at this time, you may notice with this theme a bit of, self-doubt. Maybe the ego is a bit louder and you may almost feel like you are in a state of crossroads. Maybe there's a bit of anxiety coming up. Realize that this is mainly internal. This is going on because you have thoughts that are actually out of alignment with your highest timeline that you're moving and shifting into. So this this crossroads that's going on is actually a crossroads of your mind, right? And it's like, okay, those lower vibrational thoughts are the thoughts that are just kind of limiting you from fully embracing and really rising into this new path that you are choosing, are just kind of weighing you down. So this is a time for you to address them and ask, how are they impacting my energy? And what is it that my mind is projecting into my reality? And what is it that I want to change so that my reality can feel more abundant and I can be able to focus in on the things that I want to expand? So once again, theme 1, louder ego, maybe a bit of self-doubt, anxiety, overwhelm, all of these things, like I'm mentioning, with the air element, it's something that's kind of unseen, unnoticed. But the more that you allow yourself to just kind of ask, like, okay, what's going on? You're going to be able to see more clearly what's going on subconsciously. So this will be more internal once again, but it directly influences your reality. So there is going to be that theme that allows you to address these things. And I don't want you to see a time in which it feels like a bit heavier or things feel like a bit more chaotic within the mind as like a bad thing. Rather, it is just a opportunity for you to recognize what needs to shift so that you can allow yourself to grow into that higher timeline and experience better. So this is a really great time of growth. And the second you address those thoughts, oh my gosh, things are going to shift, because we have theme 2 coming in, which is all about the receiving mode, shifting more into your divine feminine of receiving. There's this energy of self-care, self-love, honoring your energy and your creative potential. So as I was channeling this, the Empress card came through so strongly, and she is reminding you of that self-love energy, that nurturing energy, the energy of creation. And she's really reminding us to tend to the seeds we have planted, not only tend to our needs, right? The seeds that live within us of our energy, our well-being, empowering our mind, doing little self-care things, but also tending to the seeds of the relationships that we have in our lives, of the opportunities that are entering into our lives, tending to those seeds, watering the seeds that you want to grow. So really know that kind of those nurturing, like no matter if you, whatever gender you identify with, we all have that feminine energy within us, those kind of motherly instincts. Even if you are a man, you have those nurturing tendencies within you. So this will be a time for you to tap into that more sensual, more feeling, more nurturing energy, to really water those seeds that feel like they need a bit of love. Maybe you've noticed yourself really hustling, really grinding recently as you've started those new endeavors, those new, paths, and you're really like in that hardworking energy. With the 9 of Pentacles coming in, it's saying it's time to honor your energy. And if you feel like you've been overinvesting in work and kind of in that hustle, this is your sign, this is your signal to take care of yourself and to nourish your cup. Because trust me, being in that energy of receiving love from yourself and receiving love from with others is also going to open you up to receiving the miracles and the opportunities that the universe has to hand you, which flows so perfectly into theme 3, which is all about opening up to receiving new opportunities and abundance into your life. So we're building more self-trust and witnessing just how powerful and capable and worthy we are of receiving. So the 2 cards that came through with this theme was the Ace of Pentacles and the Strength card. Now, the Ace of Pentacles I want to highlight first is the card for new financial, maybe career opportunities, manifestations, abundance. This is really new beginnings, opportunities, and potentials in the physical realm. So as a pentacle card, this is like associated with the earth element. These are new beginnings correlated more to the material world. So once again, financial wealth, career, physical health, manifestation of your goals. So with the Ace of Pentacles, you are receiving something new and abundant because you have unlocked your power. You are right now in a state of recognizing just how freaking worthy you are and how powerful you are. With that Strength card, it's saying know that these new opportunities are coming to fruition as a result of everything you have done, the work that you have done with yourself, the beautiful things that you have, overcome because you've believed in your potential. You know how worthy you are, and you're really getting to a state of being that you're at your highest vibration you have ever been at. You have been through some hard shit, especially since the pandemic. There's been this theme of, wow, up leveling in ways that they seem like really, really hard in the moment, but then all of a sudden you come out the other side a whole new bad bitch, because you really realize that you can overcome hard things and that you are powerful. So this is feeding as well off of that theme one of that loud ego, and then you're addressing those limiting beliefs. The reason why all these incredible things are coming your way is because you have completely reprogrammed your mind. You are not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were a month ago. Like, you truly have elevated, and thus you've become that vibrational open channel to receive the abundance that is around you. It's always been around you. It's always been within your vortex or your, this level of being, but it's because you've shifted, you've quantum leaped into that vibration, that now all of a sudden those things are no longer just in the spiritual, but they are manifesting into the physical. So know that with all this pentacle energy here in the strength card, you're receiving it because you are worthy of it. And if you have any glimmer of doubt that pops up, squash it. Do what you do best. Empower yourself. Bring in that inner, that highest self that reminds you of just how worthy you are, because you are strong, you're powerful. And the strength card is reminding you that you are capable of holding that Ace of Pentacle energy that's coming in. And there's a reason why it's coming through right now. So overall, like, this is very, very powerful energy. And I also kept seeing an eagle and a hawk. So this is giving me that bold, courageous energy, right? Like, you are a wise being. And because of that, because of this path you are on with yourself, you are just rising to see almost that Hawkeye perspective, right? You're looking down right now and you're like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. Things are coming together. So maybe eagle hawk energy will be very important for you this month. You may even want to lean into searching up what they mean for you in terms of a totem animal. But let's do a quick reflection. Theme one, bit of a louder ego, self-doubt, worry, anxiety, but this is going to be more internal, and it's time to really address those things that are tinting your reality. Theme two, shifting into the receiving mode with the Empress, self-care, self-love, nurturing and tending to the seeds you want to grow. And finally, theme three, opening up to receiving that new abundance, new opportunities, and knowing that it's here because you are worthy of it. So we're going to go ahead and hand it off to Maggie now with the astrological transits.
Thank you, Karlie. Let's just jump straight in and remind you that these transits, unless I'm talking about a moon, they are going to be for long periods of time, weeks, months, years, even for some of them. So you don't need to do all of it on the very first day, but just be aware of how you can start to shift into this energy and work with this energy to make your life a little bit easier. So we're going to start straight off with May 2nd. Pluto is going into retrograde. Now, don't panic. This happens for 5 to 6 months every single year, so we're used to the energy of Pluto being in retrograde. It's in retrograde just as much as it's out of retrograde every single year. It's one of the reasons it takes so long to move from one sign to the next. This year is happening after a huge time of transformation, so use this next 5 to 6 months as an integration period. Take what you've learned from the eclipse, take what you've learned from that full moon in Scorpio, and allow it to start to sink in, adjust, and integrate. This doesn't mean you can't manifest, but it just means that you can slow down the intense transformations and upheaval and sort of sit back into it again. Then we have May 7th, and we have the Taurus new moon. I love when the moon is in Taurus it just feels so good on the emotional body. It just feels comforting and warm and like a hug. And once again, this is the first Taurus new moon with no eclipse. We've had a Taurus new moon eclipse, I think, the past 2 years. So enjoy the stable energy of it. Enjoy really allowing yourself to sink into this energy. This very much this Empress energy that Karlie was talking about. This is a time to practice self-love, ground, and set up new habits. This is that specific day, May 7th. You can also do it the day before and after, kind of those as the energy sort of sets into this, but this is one of those ones because it is the moon that you should practice day of or right close to it. This is a time to set up small aligned actions and intentions to reach your goals, reminding yourself that small moves make big impacts. Also, sorry, I'm going to repeat that. Reminding yourself that small moves make a big impact. Also, an extra potent time to manifest and call in abundance and money because the sign of Taurus is that money sign. Then we go on to May 15th, where Mercury enters Taurus. A lot of Taurus energy here. Mercury was in Aries longer than normal because it retrograded there. So this should feel like a good change and shift for you. This can also slow down the mental energy from fiery, fast-moving Aries, and so should start to feel like a good rest. So that ego that Karlie was talking about might be more the beginning of May. And then once we get into this Mercury entering Taurus, it should slow down a bit. You'll find it easier to make and stick to decisions and take your time in your choices moving forwards. And that will feel very refreshing. We have then May 20th, the sun enters Gemini. It's my season and Karlie's too. Got the Gemini energy going. It's always my favorite season, which makes sense because it is my sun and that's where I'll feel at home. But let me tell you why it's my favorite. It's the best time for connecting with others and making connections, especially on that like mental mind level. You can have all sorts of conversations during Gemini season. You get to express yourself, learn new things, and enjoy using your mind and your voice. However, you can have the tendency to be flighty, to overcommit, and be late. Karlie and I are late to everything. Always. Then we have May 23rd, Venus enters Gemini. You can connect with so many new people, so many new relationships can pop up everywhere and anywhere during this time. It's a great time to plan in friend dates and just call people, connect with people already in your life. This is the harmony of love and communication, so talk things out. You may feel the need to find something new and exciting, and just ask yourself, do you really want this, or are you just being swept away in the moment? And kind of, how can you bring new and exciting energy into your current relationships rather than flying off to something new? The same day, May 23rd, we have the Sagittarius full moon. This is the energy of confidence, worthiness, hope, expansion, travel. This is a time to ask yourself, what does freedom mean to me? Meditate on that under the full moon. This brings a lot of optimism, and you may feel the need to travel or go do something new or try something new. And if you can, try and indulge this impulse. Be careful with being too blunt and too honest. Say what needs to be said, but sometimes not everything needs to be said, and Sagittarius will really push you to just bear it all. And get clear on where you're aiming for. It's like the archer of Sagittarius, right? Like pull back for a second, figure out where you're aiming and where you want to go so you can get clear on where you need to shoot forwards. Then very last, we have May 25th. It's a bit of a lighter season. We don't have as many retrogrades as we did back in April, but on May 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini. So Jupiter hasn't moved since May 2023. So let's get into this new energy of abundance because Jupiter rules your abundance and your expansion. While Jupiter did feel very at home in Taurus, it is an abundant sign. It's the sign of money and values and all of that. I'm really excited about this new transit. Abundance will come from your mind over the next year, from ideas, from plans, from knowledge, from learning, expansion, and communication. You'll also find abundance through networking and collaboration or just being social and connecting with others. However, we are more likely to lack follow through during this season and miss out on the abundance of our actions by giving up too early. So don't give up on your ideas. See them through. Really cultivate that strength to see all of your ideas, especially when it has to do with abundance and money and all of those things. See them through. Believe in yourself. And that's all I've got. I'm going to hand it over to Soph, and she's going to tie it in a cute little bow and give you exactly what you need to be doing, some energetic practices, journal prompts, mantras, all of that, because I know it's a lot of information to get all at once. So listen to what Sophie has to say, write down all of these things. They'll also be in the show notes, and return to this episode. I like to say return to it maybe once a week so that you can really reflect on your intentions moving forwards with that week. But I'll just pass it off to Sophie, and she can give you exactly what you need to do.
So I just want us all to have a collective breath as per usual, like all forecasts, just taking a deep breath in, thanking the girls for channeling their wisdom, providing their guidance for us, step into this month with. And it's so funny because obviously Karlie and Maggie give their notes to me. And when I was looking at the original kind of May forecast that Karlie gave, I was like, something isn't right here. Something isn't right. And obviously we came to this to record, and Karlie was like, yeah, let me just change it, because I actually did do that from my head. I forgot that she forgot. I'm reading that comment that Maggie just wrote. She felt that it was in from her ego and her head, and I felt that, Karlie. I did feel that, and now that she's done that kind of, I'm more aligned channeling, I'm like, okay, there we go. She got it. That's a lot more aligned. So I just want us to give a collective breath, and what I want you to do is make sure you take a note of Maggie's full moon and new moon kind of practices, intentions as well, because I'm not going to be giving new moon or full moon intentions. I want you to take what Maggie spoke to on there and just dive deeper into that. But the practices and the mantras that I'm going to give you are kind of for the overarching month. But what I kind of felt like, I don't know about you guys, but what I felt was, obviously with April there was a lot of like energy of like determination and focus and hard work, and it's kind of seeped in an ego and fear, and it's kind of seeped into like the beginning of April that I felt. So just know that that kind of masculine energy is going to start to dissipate, and we're going to start to become more in our kind of slowing down, tapping into ourselves, those habits, those routines, connecting with ourselves, connecting with others, and allowing ourselves to receive more. So what I want to say about the fear is, like, when fear comes up, one, it comes up to be transmuted, okay? That we can transmute that fear into power, into expansion, into excitement. But it also shows us that we are expanding, that we're putting ourselves out there. You're putting yourself outside your comfort zone. The expansion is happening. Shields and layers are breaking away. So how can you, at the beginning of April, as we kind of step out, at the beginning of May, as we step out of this energy of April, of that determination, kind of more hustle, ego-based energy, how can you allow that fear to start being transmuted into expansion, and recognize that you are expanding, that you are growing, that the abundance is coming, abundance is happening, and from there allow yourself to start slowing down a little. I think that's what's happening. Like, it may is about maybe allowing your nervous system to feel safe, to slow down. Okay, so maybe each day of May, or like the kind of like the middle of May and into the end of it, just ask yourself each day when you wake up, like, what is one thing I can do to train my nervous system to feel safe, to slow down and just be with myself today? Not have to push, not have to do, not have to like give so much and hustle so much. How can I allow my nervous system just to feel safe, to know that I can be and I can receive from that state of being? Okay, that's the question I want you to take away with you, that prompt, and have with you. Maybe you write it down, you pin it on your bed frame, you pin it on your chest of drawers, or wherever you are, on your phone. Just ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to train my nervous system to feel safe, to slow down and just be with myself today? Come into myself, quiet my fear, quiet my ego, expand my belief system, expand my nervous system to be able to receive, so when this abundance does start to come in, when these ideas start to come in, expansion starts to truly happen, which it is, you're able to actually hold that. You're able to hold that and allow your nervous system and not sabotage yourself or not fall into a kind of freeze state. Okay, so I want you to take that and start to train your nervous system to feel safe, to slow down and just be, and know that resting is rich. Resting is rich. Resting is abundant as fuck when you allow yourself to know that you get to slow down and you get to receive, because there's a lot of receiving energy coming through from both sides as we moved further into May. So what I want you to do is each day I want you to do a daily coming into yourself practice in a new and different way. Okay, I want you to do it in a new, different way. Like, add something new to your routines and your habits. Like, this is actually something that I've done because I felt myself wanting, like, kind of getting a bit comfortable or like stagnant, or I don't know, like a shift needed to be made. So what is something you can do differently in your routines and your habits, or a different way that you can come into yourself, come into your heart, come into your belief system? Maybe it is doing intuitive movement in the morning. Maybe it's doing EFT tapping. Maybe it's just getting up and going straight outside now that we're getting into spring, into the warm weather. Maybe it's getting outside, going out and kind of meditating outside, or doing something different and falling back in love with coming into yourself, falling back love with slowing down and allowing yourself to just be and receive. Okay, because there's abundance coming, there's expansion coming. So train and allow yourself to receive. Just allow yourself to receive. Okay, and another little practice. This is kind of a practice, or more just like this is what I want you guys to do. So when we get to, especially when we get into Gemini season, and Maggie spoke about how that's an amazing time to like connect with others and relationships and focus on your relationships, I want you to intentionally connect with others, go out more, ask for help and support more. Go to the classes or the workshops that you've been wanting to go, but you've been holding yourself back. Your ego, your fear, your anxiety isn't been allowing yourself to put yourself into those spaces and those places. Like, start to intentionally, even if you have to lovingly push yourself to go to these spaces, because you never know who you might meet. You never know what opportunities you will attract. You never know what abundance and joy will find you, because you know the abundance, the energy of abundance is coming. So being able to like really encourage yourself and push yourself and intentionally put yourself into spaces, whether it is like-minded people, especially in aligned spaces, so that you are in the right place to receive this abundance, to receive these opportunities. So take this as a sign, if you have been holding yourself back, to putting yourself out there in different ways or in more ways, and kind of expanding on your relationships, expanding on your collaborations, expanding on your connections. Like, this is the energy to put yourself in there, because miracles can find you, opportunities can find you, like relationships can find you that will change your fucking life, that can change the whole entire trajectory of your life by just allowing yourself to go to that one space. Okay, so in saying that, I want you to take these mantras and take the ones that resonate, leave the ones that don't. You can change them a little to be more specific for you. You can add things to it, whatever you want. These will be in the show notes as well. So the first one is around the theme of fears at the start. It's like, I trust my fears surfaced to be released, and I'm committed to releasing them more and more moving forward. Choosing to know that it's safe for these fears to surface. It's okay. They want to surface. They want to leave your body. They want to come out of your system, so you can implant and expand in a more empowering way, that your belief system, your programming can be more expansive, so that you can be a higher frequency, a higher vibration, to receive this abundance, to step into this abundance. Okay. And the next one is, it's safe for me to slow down and restore my energy. It is safe for me to slow down and restore my energy. I open my heart up to receive and experience connection and support this next month. This is a big word, I feel like, for this month, is receive. Like, we're allowing ourselves to receive the abundance, the opportunities, the connections, the relationships, by simply just being you, slowing down, coming into yourself. Okay. And the last few are I attract once in a lifetime opportunities daily and trust myself to see them through. I'm going to say that one more time. I attract once in a lifetime opportunities daily and trust myself to see them through, knowing that you're worthy of them, knowing that you're capable. Okay? So you can attract them and you can see them through. You can continue committing to them. And you liberate any fear, any worry, any anxiety that stops you from seeing them through. And the last one is, I am an open channel of abundance and opportunities. I feel like that's the biggest thing here, is like the receiving, the slowing down, the being the channel, being abundance. You are abundance. Okay. And from that state of being, you attract abundance and opportunities, and abundance in the form of opportunities, abundance in the form of relationships. Okay. Abundance in the form of confidence, of worthiness. So I want you just to take a deep breath in. And if you need to save this and come back to this episode, please do. The prompts, the mantras, the practices will be in the show notes for you to write down and lean into. If there's something that you want to do more of or you want to add or implement, please go ahead and do. And please remember to reach out to us on Instagram or reach out to us on email at divinegossipgirls@gmail.com and tell us what places did you step into? Where did you go? Who did you meet? What opportunities did you attract? Okay, how are you slowing down? Let us know. We want to hear. But thank you so much for tuning in to another forecast. We can't believe we're in May. What the hell? We're in May already. But thank you for tuning in to another forecast. If you have not already, please rate and review the podcast. It helps so much. And send this to one of your or all of your spiritual besties or someone you think would enjoy listening to these forecasts and having this divine, cosmic, spiritual guidance. And we'll see you next week for another episode. Bye.
Bye.